Hello everyone, I'm Shruti, working as Assistant Professor in Government Engineering College. I welcome you all to the lecture series on the subject Technical Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship for 5th semester. This video is a part of Learning Management System under the Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. In this session, I'll be discussing on the process of grouping of tasks into department and subdepartments called departmentation. I will discuss about committees and its types, advantages and weaknesses of committees. Then I will discuss the concept of centralization and decentralization of authority and then the advantages and disadvantage of those concepts. After all those, I'll be covering some multiple choice questions at last. Departmentalization involves grouping of operating tasks into jobs, combining of jobs into effective group of work, and combining of groups into divisions, often termed as departments. The aim is to take advantages of division of labor and specialization up to a certain limit. The figure shows an organization being divided into 4 departments. They are purchase department, production department, and finance department, and also marketing department. There are several bases for departmentization, each of which is suitable for particular corporate size, strategies and purposes. Most bases conveniently fall into one of the two categories which March and Seaman refer to as process departmentization and purpose departmentization. Coming to process departmentalization, there are two widely used and internally oriented arrangements for dividing work by process, and they are departmentization by function and departmentization by technology. The first classification being the departmentization by function is the simplest and most commonly used base for departmentization. Here, each major function of the enterprise is grouped into departments. For example, there may be production, finance, marketing, and HR, that is human resources department in an organization. All functions are related to production. All functions which are related to productions are grouped together to form production department. Similarly, other departments are formed on the basis of function. And the second category is departmentization by technology, wherein departmentization is done on the basis of several discrete stages in the process or technologies involved in the manufacture of the product. For example, a vegetable oil production mill may have several departments for crushing, refining, and finishing. Another example is in this textile industry, which is depicted in the picture, may have spinning, weaving, dyeing, and printing departments. Coming to purpose departmentization, there are 5 externally oriented ways in which work can be departmentized by purpose. By the purpose, they are departmentization by product, departmentization by customers, departmentization by time, departmentization by regulations, and at last, departmentization by division. Starting with departmentization by product, for each major product, a separate self-contained department is created and is put under the charge of a manager who may also be made responsible for producing a profit of a given magnitude. Example, Johnson and Johnson Manufacturing has a range of products for children, and surgical sutures has separate departments for each of the products. Another example, which is illustrated in the picture, is an automobile industry may have different departments for two-wheeler, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, and heavy vehicles. Next, we have departmentation by customers. An enterprise may be divided into a number of departments on the basis of customers that it services. Example, a big automobile servicing enterprise may have separate departments for servicing cars, heavy vehicles, motors, scooters, and so on. We have another example in this figure where an organization has separate departments for foreign customers, domestic customers, wholesale customers, and retail customers. Next, we have departmentation by time, wherein activities are grouped on the basis of timing of their performance. Example, a college may have separate department for morning college and evening colleges. Next, we have departmentalization by region, territory, or location. When several production of marketing units of an organization are geographically dispersed in various locations, it is logical to departmentalize those units on a geographical basis. Example, the Indian Railways departmentalization has been done on the basis of Northern Railways, Western Railways, Southern Railways, Eastern Railways, and Central Railways. Next, we have departmentization by division. When large multi-product companies segment themselves into several independent profit centers on the basis of product, territory, or customer, these units are called divisions. Example, L&T is one of the leading engineering companies which has recently become the umbrella organization with a dozen of self-contained divisions such as infrastructures, technological services, heavy equipments, etc. A pharmaceutical company may have separate departments for the production of skincare products, production of vitamin products, and for production of general medicine. Now, let us understand what a committee is. A committee is a body of persons appointed or elected to meet on an organized basis for the consideration of matters brought before it. A committee is a group of persons performing a group of tasks with the objective of solving certain problems. The area of operation of a committee is determined by its constitution. A committee may formulate plans, review the performance of certain units, or may only have the power to make recommendations. Committees help in taking corrective decisions, coordinating the affairs of different departments, and meeting communication requirements in the organization. Committees are broadly classified as advisory committees and executive committees. Advisory committees have only a recommender's role and cannot enforce implementation of their advice or recommendation. The examples of advisory committees are workers' committees, finance committees, etc. Whenever committees are vested with line authority, They are called as executive committees. Unlike advisory committee, executive committee not only take decisions, executive committees, which are the second type of committees, not only take decisions but also enforce decisions and thus perform a double role of taking decision and ordering its execution. The board of directors of a company is an example of an executive committee. Committees are also classified as standing committees or permanent committees and ad hoc task force. Standing committees are formed to deal with recurrent organizational problems. For example, loan approval committee in a bank is an example for a standing committee. The members of these committees are mostly chosen because of the position instead of individual qualification or skills. The next type of committee is ad hoc task force. They are formed for short duration. They are resolved after a particular task or a problem is solved. The members are chosen for their skills and experience for this kind of committees. Now let me list out some of the advantages of committees. Committees provide a forum for the pooling of knowledge and experience of many persons of different skills, ages, and backgrounds. Committees are excellent means of transmitting information and ideas both upward and downward. Committees are impersonal in action and hence their decisions are generally unbiased and are based on facts. When departmental heads are members of committees, people get an opportunity to understand others' problem and hence improve coordination. Committees also provide opportunity to many peoples while decision making for the participation in decision making. But committees have weaknesses too, and they are in case of a wrong decision taken by a committee, no one is held responsible, which may result in irresponsibility among members. Committees delay in action as all of the committee members needs to be convinced. Committees are expensive form of organization because the members needs to be paid. Decisions are generally arrived at on the basis of compromise and hence they are not best decisions. As committee consists of large number of persons, it is difficult to maintain secrecy. Now let us try to understand the concept of centralization and decentralization of authority, where authority is the right to order or command and is delegated from the superior to the subordinate to discharge his responsibilities. The concept of centralization refers to systematic reservation of authority at central points within the organization. Centralization means retention or concentration of managerial authority in few key managerial positions at the nerve center of an organization, that is, at the top level of management. Everything that goes to reduce the subordinate's role in decision making is centralization. On the other hand, the concept of decentralization means dispersal of decision making power to lower levels of the organization. In decentralized setup, ultimate authority to command and ultimate responsibility for the results is localized as far down in the organization. According to Allen, decentralization refers to the systematic effort to delegate to the lower levels all authority except that which can only be exercised at central points. In decentralized setup, large number of decisions, more important decisions in large number of areas are made consulting few people. In other words, Henry, who is a management author, says that everything that goes to increase the importance of subordinates' role in decentralization and everything that reduces it is centralization. Coming to the advantages of centralization, the first advantage is standardization of procedure and systems. This enables standardization of procedure and systems. Also, it facilitates smooth working in the organization. Secondly, it facilitates evolution. When same policies are used for all segments of the enterprise, their performance can early be evaluated. And the third advantage is economics. There will be a centralized buying and selling. This will enable bulk buying, resulting in discounts and savings on the transportation expenses. And the next advantage is coordination of activities, wherein centralized management will help in coordinating the work of different segments in such a way that organizational goals are achieved. Coming to the disadvantages of centralization, it destroys individual initiative because nobody is given the authority to use his own judgment, even if there are glaring lacunae in the decision. Second, overburdening of few. This system gives responsibility only for few persons. In a decentralized setup, routine matters are left to the subordinates and manager concentrates on the important administrative work only. It slows down the operation, that is centralization, slows down the operation, that is because since all decisions are taken only by one person and his unavailability keeps the matter pending. The next disadvantage of centralization is the risk from customers. Customers do not come in contact with policymakers. Next disadvantage is there is no scope for specialization because a single person cannot be specialized in all fields. Hence, employing the services of specialized specialists becomes necessary. Coming to the advantages of decentralization, it reduces the burden on top executives because system under this system, top executives will retain only that work which requires their personal attention. Otherwise, everything is assigned to the person or appropriate levels, to the persons at appropriate levels. The second disadvantage of centralization is quick decision is possible because the decision making powers are delegated to the level of actual execution. Action can be taken immediately. The next advantage of decentralization is It facilitates diversification. With the expansion and diversification of activities, there will be a need to delegate authority at departmental level. It gives authority for various persons to carry out the required task. So, coming to the disadvantages of decentralization, the first disadvantage is lack of coordination. It is difficult to coordinate the activities of various segments here in case of decentralization. And the second disadvantage is difficulty in control, as the top level management will not be able to exercise effective control. They do not remain in touch with day-to-day activities of various segments. So it is difficult to control the day-to-day activities of various segments. The next disadvantage is it's costly. It becomes costly because every decentralization division has to be self-sufficient for its activities like production, marketing, accounting, etc. Next disadvantage is lack of able managers, because if the competent persons are available as per the requirements, then the system will not fail. Otherwise, the system will collapse. Now, I would like to summarize the content of this session. We saw how departmentalization is carried out for grouping of tasks into departments and sub-departments and delegating of authority for the accomplishment of the task. And also, we saw different categories of departmentation done on several bases, each of which is suitable for particular corporate size, strategies, and purposes. We also got to know about committees, its types, and its advantages and weaknesses. I also discussed about centralization and decentralization of authority, their advantages and disadvantages. The books you can refer are Principles of Management by P.C. Tripathi, P.N. Reddy, by Margaret Hill Education Publishers. The second one is Management and Entrepreneurship by N.V.R. Naidu, T. Krishnarao, which is published by IK International Publication House Private Limited. And the third book is Management and Entrepreneurship by Veerabhadrappa Havinal, which is published by New Age International Publishers. Let me discuss some multiple choice questions. The two widely used and internally oriented arrangements for dividing work by process are option A, departmentalization by function, option B, departmentalization by products, option C, departmentalization by customers, option D, departmentalization by territories. And the correct answer is option A, that is departmentalization by function. Next question. Banks, insurance companies, and distribution agencies are examples of option A, departmentalization by functions, option B, departmentalization by products, option C, departmentalization by customers, option D, departmentalization by territories. And the answer is departmentalization by territories. So they are grouped based on the territories they work. A big automobile servicing enterprise may have separate departments for servicing cars, heavy vehicles, and scooters. And the departmentalization is done on the basis of option A, departmentalization by function, departmentalization by products, departmentalization by customers, option D, departmentalization by territory. And the correct answer is option C, departmentalization by customers. So based on the customers, they are the departments are created here in case of big automobile servicing enterprise, wherein you have separate department for servicing cars and heavy vehicles and scooters. The next question is the extent to which power and authority are retained at the top is called as option A, centralization, option B, decentralization, option C, responsibility, option D, accountability. And the correct answer is option A, centralization. So in the concept of centralization, authority is retained at the top level. The next question is the integration of objectives and activities of an organization is option A, control, option B, coordination, option C, planning, option D, organizing. And the correct answer is option B, that is coordination. Coordination is nothing but integration of objectives and activities of an organization. The next question is the right of a person to give instructions to his subordinate is known as option A, responsibility, option B, authority, option C, accountability, option D, line authority. And the correct answer is option B. Authority is the right of a person to give instructions to his subordinate. Next question. Dash means that each section has its own workers to perform activities within the department. And the options are option A, centralization, option B, departmentation, option C, decentralization, and option D, delegation. And the answer is option C. That is, decentralization means uh, each section has its own workers to perform activities within the department. The next question is departmentation leads to grouping of option A, activities, option B, personnel, option C, both A and B, option D, none of the above. And the answer is option C. So departmentalization leads to the grouping of both the employees and the activities. The departmentation can be created by option A, function, option B, product, option C, process, option D, all of the above. And the correct answer is option D, all of the above. Because departmentation can be created on the basis of all the three options, that is, on the basis of function, on the basis of product, on the basis of process. Next question. In hospitals, the following type of departmentation is common. Answer A, function by function. Answer B, by committee. Answer C, by geographical region. And answer D, all of the above. And the correct answer is answer option A, that is by function. In hospitals, departmentalization is done on the basis of function, such as. And that's the end of this session. Thank you all.